Sweet, we are good to go. What is going on, guys? Welcome to another video. This is your boy NarikChase, and in this video, we're going to be doing episode 3 of Character Ranker. And in this episode, like the title suggests, we're going to be talking about the Angelina Jolie's version of Lara Croft. Now, Angelina Jolie portrayed Lara Croft in the 2001 Tomb Raider movie, as well as the 2003 sequel, Cradle of Life, and to some degree of success. Now, as typically, we're still developing podcasts or whatever, so I'm still kind of making up the rules as we go up on this. But we got a traditional set of things that we do go by. We go by the character itself in the movie. We go by the performance. We go by the design. We go by the movie itself. And I'm going to add a new one, which is going to be the casting call for who, if I think she's shitty or whatever, or who else could have potentially played the role, which I think that it sounds a little bit better. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. Now, I honestly do like, as far as the character of Lara Croft in the film, I actually think that the character was portrayed. I mean, the character itself was good. Really, it was good, and probably one of the best adaptations of a character in a live-action game movie. She was witty, she was smart ass, she was smart, she was sexy. You know, she had all of the great qualities that we love in Lara Croft that are in the games. And I think that character was actually pretty cool. And I'm actually glad that they did give the character a bit of depth, and especially in the first movie, because she does have a developing arc in both of the movies. So I did like that the character was actually pretty deep. Character was definitely badass, especially with some of the stunts and stuff that she did, particularly during the action sequences. She was incredibly clever. There are moments where, and yeah, I guess I cycled this with the performance. There are moments where it's not Lara Croft you're watching; it's Angelina Jolie. So there is that kind of an issue that was in the film. It's like, there's not the Lara Croft, that's Angelina Jolie right there. And a lot of that had to do with the action sequences and some of the more like flourish type moments, like theatrical type moments. But as far as the character of Lara Croft, I think that character was done solidly. I thought she was a great character. I love how funny she could be and witty and how much of a smart ass, but I also love the depth that the character actually has, especially with some of the other characters. Powell's, for instance, had a bit of a kind of rivalry slash kind of respect for each other, but it was more of like a rivalry. Daniel Craig's character, you could tell there was kind of something there too. There was those two, the butler and the smart guy. I just didn't care about them enough to actually like care about their relationship. But as far as the character itself, the movie does do for the most part does do a pretty good job of capturing who the character of Lara Croft is, and I like that about the character. Now the performance is where it's kind of like because, as I've said before, there are moments in the movie where it's like, okay, Angelina Jolie does give a great performance. She's definitely like one of the like perfect cast for like Lara Croft. She does a fantastic job, especially when it comes to the action sequences, when it comes to the conveying just these witty dialogue with other characters. Angelina Jolie is by definition like the action actress, next to like Mila Jovovich and Kate Beckinsale and like 10 other girls. But aside from that, I think they perfectly cast Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft. My biggest issue with Angelina Jolie in this film is the fact that there are moments where it's not Lara Croft, it's Angelina Jolie. And it's, like I said, it's a lot of that has to do with the direction of the movie, how the movie was written, and kind of like the action sequences. There are some pretty cool action sequences, but I'm like, I would not see Angelina Jolie, like, I wouldn't see Lara Croft like doing that. Yes, it's cool that she's riding around on this motorcycle shooting guys and stuff like that, badass and everything, but that's not Lara Croft. That's Angelina Jolie right there. Like that type of moment. What's another interesting moment that they had on there? And this is probably one of the moments where I would say it switched back to Lara Croft. The moment where they're in the temple and she has to deal with these these monkey statues and these flying demon statues and this big 6-armed, 3-headed statue. Like that sequence right there, that's Lara Croft. Now, because it makes sense for her to have those types of moments. Like even at the beginning of the movie, she's fighting a robot. Like, I mean, that has nothing to do with fucking Tomb Raider, but like that right there switches back to Angelina Jolie. So it's like, that's the biggest problem I have with this movie. It's like when you have a star that does a role over and over and over again, that role that person no longer becomes the role. That role becomes the person. Kind of like what you see with like Tom Cruise. He always like in these action star roles. Kind of like with Johnny Depp. He always playing these like weird, quirky, goofy type characters. Kind of like Mila Jovovich at times. She plays a lot of action stars, so it's like less about that character than it is about her. So she, you know what I mean? So like that. And I think at moments Angelina Jolie just throws it out there where it's not Lara Croft you're looking at. And a lot of that has to do with the way the movie was written, because it's written to be this like all inspired badass action movie and all of this national treasure type shit. Like, no, this is a Tomb Raider movie. It should be a bit more slower pace, a lot more mystery, a lot more tomb raiding, and all of that stuff. So as far as the actual performance of Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft, I would say this hands down, like she was perfectly cast for the role. It's just the movie was just written kind of bad. Also, when it comes to the actual design of the character, again, there are moments where it's like Angelina Jolie and Lara Croft. When it comes to like the actual outfits and you'll see those outfits, of course. Yeah, it looks like the Tomb Raider outfit, and again, her whole overall just like physique carries that character, and it looks like the character. And if it wasn't just her performance, she actually just looks like the freaking character. It's not even like they added like any special stuff to her. It's not like Gamora where they had to put makeup and had this specially designed outfit for Zoe Saldana. No, Angelina Jolie looks like and carries herself like Lara Croft. So as far as the actual design goes, yes, the whole little backpack with the two clips in the back that she can do with the guns and everything, it works as that character. It does a fantastic job of working. So I do not have any problems as far as her being like the actual design of Lara Croft. Now, where some of my issues do kind of come in is like later on it becomes like about fashion. It has like, and that's why I say like the movie had this weird like theatrical flair to it that doesn't need to be in the movie. And there's these moments where she's like all dressed up and all of this stuff. And it's like, that's not necessary. It's like this one sequence where she's like walking. And yes, it's a very cold place, but it seems like it's more about fashion rather than function. I would understand that she just kind of had like one of those big buffy coats like everybody else was wearing in the fucking movie. But she got this like stylistically inclined overcoat or whatever it was. And I'm like, that's cool, but it seems like she's walking down a runway and not out there in the Arctic or something. And even kind of the clothes don't fit. Like, it doesn't need to be in the movie. And like, she's wearing clothes that are like skin tight, and it's like, that's not plausible to be in an area like that. You want to wear something that's a bit more, I don't know, thicker or heat that keeps heat in or something like that. And it's like, see, that's one of those moments where, yes, it looks good. And even kind of, and I think they did tone it down a lot in the Cradle of Life, because it felt a little bit more realistic. Like, she's wearing like her kind of a traditional outfit, but she has like a regular coat over it, so it looks cool. Looks bad. Like the part where she's riding on the motorcycle, like that part. It looks like Tomb Raider, but it looks plausible for her to be wearing that, and I didn't mind that. The part where she's at the beginning of the movie where she's underwater and she's got the little suit on, but it's made for her to be underwater, so it makes sense for her to wear that. So and it looks like the Tomb Raider ish type clothing, so it works. And that's just basically it. Just the overall design. Yes, Lara Croft has a ton of sex appeal, especially the older version of her. Ton of sex appeal, and I will say they carried it off beautifully. Now let's go to the movies and her roles in those movies. I think the movies. I like the movies for the most part. They're probably some of the better game adaptations, but their movies have a lot of problems, and most of it is the fact that it's not a Tomb Raider movie. It's an Angelina Jolie movie. It should be Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider and Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider: The Cradle of Life, because they're actiony movies. They're not movies about her being on this adventure. They're not movies about her trying to solve this mystery. Yeah, I mean, yes, they are, but not in the way that you would think Tomb Raider would be about. They feel more like James Bond movies, both of them, rather than movies about. And this is the problem with all the Tomb Raider, with all of her Tomb Raider movies. She should be in the tomb most of the time. Her trying to solve this mystery, and that's one of the issues that the movies have. It really sucks. It really doesn't make any sense why the movies are. And again, it goes back to the theatrical flair that these movies are known for. I would love to see these Tomb Raider movies be more focused on having Lara Croft just be a character that's trying to develop, trying to learn about this tomb, trying to uncover what's going on. Like our best example in the first movie, they're trying to find this triangle. It'd be really awesome, and had they been in like this tomb 80% of the movie, she's fighting the bad guys, they're fighting stone statues of monkeys and flying demons and three-headed, six-armed, whatever the hell those things are. Azura, yeah, I think that's Azura. I think that was Azura. Asura, whatever you want to say, however you want to say it. Like the majority of the movie should have been her in that one tomb trying to figure out trying to stop these guys and trying to solve the mystery herself. Second movie the same way, because I was really disappointed at the whole Cradle of Life. There was nothing special about it. It looked like I was watching a retro version of Labyrinth when I got to that last, except the bad guy was not as entertaining. But if they're going to go with the whole Tomb Raider movies and everything, their best job to make that movie help develop the character that it's based on. Again, in the Tomb Raider movies, most of the time you don't feel that she's Lara Croft. There are some sequences where, again, in the first movie when they're in the temple trying to get the first triangle, that's a Lara Croft moment. That was a great moment. I wish it was more extensive. I wish it was a little bit more complex with how they solved the puzzle and everything. But that's basically just the gist of what we get. And in the second movie, there's only one real interesting moment where it's like, yeah, this is a Tomb Raider movie, and that's the moment when they're dealing with like the shadow demon things. Like that's awesome. That's awesome. I would not mind that being the case. But as far as the movies are concerned, like I said, the movies are the better of the adaptations. Yes, they truly are. It's just the problem with them are they don't feel like Tomb Raider movies. They feel like Angelina Jolie movies. Now, as far as the casting call, I was one of the ones, especially after I seen Star Wars: The Force Awakens, after they rebooted the franchise and everything. I was one of the ones that was like, okay, sure, I would like to see Daisy Ridley play Tomb Raider. And I was talking about the reboot Tomb Raider, but in general, as like a Tomb Raider fan, Daisy Ridley would. And as far as the older, I guess I could say, be more specific, the older casting call for Tomb Raider, I would probably say. I have no damn idea, now I think about it, I'm finna look at some casting calls. Cause and I know I kind of messed up on this. Normally I've been wrote down characters who should probably play Lara Croft, but I'm a dumbass and I didn't do that. But I will say Daisy Ridley. I was hyped. I was hyped for Alicia Vikander because I thought she did a great job, and I think she's a fantastic actress. Um, See, I done messed up this episode. Anyways, look, y'all, guys in the comment section below, I'm just going to go ahead and just give it to Angelina Jolie. As far as the performance chops and the way she looks, she is a great and fantastic Lara Croft. So I will give Angelina Jolie a 4 out of 5 for her performance as Lara Croft. Guys, in the comment section below, let me know your thoughts on Angelina Jolie's performance as Lara Croft. I think she did a great job. And what do you think about the movies as well? And be sure to do something that I didn't do with my dumb ass. And give me your ideas of who should have played the first original Lara Croft and not the younger version in the reboot. Because I didn't write up a list for it. I guess you could say I would like to see Rona Mitra or Kate Beckinsale because I do love them as action actresses, and of course they're British or whatever, so it completely works, and they're badass, and I think they could actually play the role. I think they actually could play the role. But anyways, without further ado, remember guys, Tuesdays, Thursdays, we do upload videos. Hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what's going on the channel, this channel, and stay tuned.